Good morning, my YouTubers. Yeah, so let's go and see what's in the garden. We haven't seen it for a while, and the sun is out. It's early morning. Martha went to school, so let's go check on the orchids. Okay, and as we go, um, of course, you guys probably want to know what I do, how I do it, and the questions pop out sometimes, and the questions are very hard to answer in a message, in a comment, because anything about orchids is big. Any question covers right away too many positions. So there was a question, how am I watering? Okay, so that is a lecture basically for good 45 minutes. Why? Because you cannot answer it with I water once a week. Oh, pretty birdie. Yeah, he knows about watering obviously too. So let's start from the beginning, and as I speak I'll be showing you my blooming girls and boys and their names. Okay, so what are orchids? Orchids are epiphytes, which means what? They grow on the surface. Like, this is the most natural way for the orchid to grow, okay? Because that's what they do in nature. Well, it is not always convenient for us, and us as human, we usually don't really care what nature's plans are. We want to transform it into the shape that is convenient for us. Yeah, well, that's life. So we put them in pots. And that's where the problem starts. Okay? Then another thing is we take Oncidium type of orchid, we take Cattleya type of orchid, we take Paphiopedilum type of orchid, and we put them in the same environment, and we put them in the same conditions. Okay, so the orchid in nature probably grew at the certain levels, with the certain sea levels, I mean, with the certain temperatures, humidity, rain amount, dryness, heat, cold. But then oh, that bird is so cute this morning. We decide that we want it to grow here and now. And that's our second big problem. So, when you ask me how do I water my plants, you need to think about what specific orchid or group of orchids we're talking about. Let's feature this lady here. She's still going on strong. Smells so good. Yeah. So before you have any type of question about any orchid, you need to do your research. Nowadays, good and not good, there's internet. Why good and not good? Because internet can give you a good information, but it can confuse the living you know what out of you. Come on, camera. Camera is feeling too much information. Yeah, so I suggest always go to the really good resources. AmericanOrchidSociety.org, AOS.org will be a good, great source for you to get your specific information. Then, of course, the best would be to join a local orchid society. I know not everyone has those, but if you do, that is the best thing to do. This is my miracle child. Have no clue what she is called, but she is sitting in her pot. I own her for like 2-3 years, and she's in dirt, real dirt. So and I am refusing to pull her out because she's blooming every year and she's happy, and I never touch orchids that are happy. So when you have a question, how do I water, you always need to think about what orchid are we talking. Vandas, no matter where, no matter how, needs watering every day, preferably a couple of times. And when we say watering, just spraying it from the bottle is usually not enough. Okay, so there's Mimi Palmer blooming. Mimi Palmer blooming. She's hiding here. Yeah, so do your research, see what does this specific orchid requires in the nature. Okay, so then, like I mentioned in the beginning, the most natural way for them to grow is being attached to something. Whenever you have mounted orchids with the roots exposed, you must water them daily. Okay? Why? Because their roots will dry out. And that's actually what they want, and that's actually what kills them. When we have them, we decided that they will grow in the pot. They do want to dry in between, most of them. Again, I should add, because there are some orchids that want to be moist all the time, like for example bulbophyllums. Okay, so lots of root action in here. This is my Stenchopia candida. And so for that reason, when they are in the pot, they need to have a dry period, most of them. Okay, again, do your research. Don't trust some Better Home and Garden article as much. I would go and find the Orchid Society. Here in Florida, we have an amazing resource available for everybody, not for just some people. This is my Nobelore from Sunland, already attaching. Nice. On my brownie. They, by the way, are some still available on my website, just one more orchid.biz. So when they are in the pot, one of the reasons why you need to repot your orchid every 2-3 years is not because the mulch becomes, you know, something not usable anymore. It's because there's the reason why we put orchids in mulch is for those air pockets in between the pieces. Okay, and within 2-3 years mulch turns into basically, you know, trash, and so that's why you need to repot. Besides the growth size, it's one of the very important things to do for your. This girl is still going. She's so beautiful. Yeah, for the moment of them having that dry in between. Okay, so that's my very short version of answer for watering. Number one, do your research. Know your plant. You need to know what they want. Many growers. Oh, the resource I forgot to mention. The St. Augustine Orchid Society in Florida. If you will find their website, Mrs. Sue Bottoms, that is a super expert on orchids. We have a concert here today. All the birds are singing. And on their website, they have absolutely endless number of articles about the culture, about how to grow, about different types, fungus, all kinds of stuff that is always raises the questions. So you can check their website, St. Augustine Orchid Society, and that's a great resource for you. So, ooh, I cannot tell you guys. I was here yesterday. Now this is a moment to celebrate. You know, my first favorite orchid was the bulbophyllum orchid. Was a fascinator. That's what got me into them. But then I was at the Miami show, and the gentleman next to me, Wilson Orchids, had alba, semi-alba version. And I got it. And it's been sitting here since, I want to say last year. Oh my god. And now it's blooming. Okay, should I do the smell test? It doesn't smell. People say they have really bad smells. I don't know. I mean, some of them don't smell nice, but it's nothing to be really. The funniest thing is their tongue. It's moving. As you see, ew, up, ew. Yeah. So this is like a short version for you. Number one, know your plant. Number two, try to mimic the conditions that they require in their natural habitat. Do not put an ice cube in your orchid. Okay, I cannot stress this enough, because the commercial growers, not commercial growers, I should say, the industry of selling orchids created this absolutely orchid killer advice to put the ice cube, which kind of does make sense. It's a slow release kind of watering, but it only makes sense in that way. In the other way, it's a killing mechanism, because orchids are tropical plants, and if you put ice on them, if you know, it could be success for a little bit, because if you don't touch the roots with it, it might not affect them right away. But basically, any ice or cold will put them in a state of shock, and your orchid sooner or later will. And there's our lawnmower. My neighbor, my good neighbor, got the brand new lawnmower. This is actually what happens here. I moved those tables from my greenhouse, for those that know my story, and I put my biggies here. Also, this is my lab. I'm watching if they like it. I put my California Cymbidium here, and my local Cymbidium here, and my big Kong, young Kong, is here. I know dendrobiums love this part, so I'm pretty safe with them here. Yeah. So ice cube is a big no-no, and for God's sake, if you ever are around a good growers, don't ask them that question. You're gonna get a really not pleasant answer, because it's a very annoying point for all of the orchid growers, because that advice is given to you, so you kill your orchid and then you go and buy a new one. Okay, so this is, if you want watering advice, if you see the roots, I mean, if your orchid is mounted, it needs to be watered daily. Other orchids besides bulbophyllum do want a dry period in between. For that specific reason, they need to be in a good drainage, air pocketed, let's say, medium, like bark, like clay balls, or some of them love lava rock. Another moment about watering is where you're growing your orchids. I grow all my orchids outside, so they do get the rain. I live in Florida, and again, this advice will be different for even for Florida, because Florida has a very southern part, and then we have a northern Florida that does get temperatures at night going down to 30, and so that advice will be different for them. So you got to know your orchid, your conditions, and then, ooh, look at that mushroom. I grow mushrooms too. Look at that guy. Your habits, okay? There are people that love watering. It was me before. Now I'm a little bit busier. So if you are really heavy water, then I would suggest you plant your orchids in something really large so they dry out faster. If you don't want to waste your time and water them so much, then you should use moss or something like that. But the main thing, no ice cube, number one. Then don't let them sit in the water. You need to water them, and I mean you need to water them. Just a spray bottle will not do it, because it's not enough. The best thing, if you have not so many, if you have so many, you can just use a hose, okay? But if you don't have so many, you take your orchids and you put them in the sink. Yeah, Martha scratched me today. I have a fancy band-aid, huh? Cool. So we are cool, just generally. So just take your orchids and put them in your sink. Yeah, this is, by the way, the devastated area. I didn't do much with it as up yet, but we have plans for it. Put them in the sink. Let the water run through it. Preferably let it stay there for another, I don't know, 10 minutes, and then water it again. The good rule time-wise is water your orchids, go have your cup of coffee, and then go and water it again, okay? So this is my little speech to you about watering, my short version answer to you. Then also very important, I'll tell you from experience, look at this girl blooming again. Isn't she beautiful? She was blooming just recently. She's a very long name. Is the quality of your water. When we moved down into this house had groundwater, underground water, okay? And it's Florida. We have terrible water. Let's say at that point I probably had, let's say, 200 orchids. About 70 of them died really fast. Ooh, look, my lime sorbet survived one flower, and there's another spike. This orchid, for whatever reason, doesn't bloom a lot, but it's very pretty. And it's, by the way, for you, is again my bag baby, which people probably know. You can buy orchids here in Florida. I'm trying to get the tag for you. Okay, let's go this way. Oh boy, it's not gonna be easy, but it's right there. Yeah, we have in our home improvement stores, we have these racks with the little orchids in bags. We call them bag babies. So the quality of your water is extremely important. Orchids are very sensitive. And why are they sensitive? Because in the nature there is no bad water. All they get is a rainwater, which is the best for them because it has everything they need in it, okay? So up she goes. So, and then we installed a reverse osmosis, and it changed everything drastically. Look at this girl rooting crazy. So these are just a few things to think about when you are thinking about watering. So, but I'll tell you this, it's better underwater than overwater, because the overwatering creates another problem, which is fungus and rot, and that's what mostly kills orchids. I'll tell you, they don't die. Most of the time we kill them. We kill them with our love. We kill them with not knowing what we're doing. And that's the problem. So today you saw my new blooms. Aren't they pretty? Actually, Tessa already redecorated the couch, but there's a one new phalaenopsis opened up. It's from Cool Smith. Finally, it is very pretty, and I know they're fragrant. Yeah, so when you go into orchid world, it's just a crazy amount of new information. It's not hard if you have good sources, okay? And just do your homework. Basically, any kind of plant or new area of your life will require for you to do your homework. The same here. If you've been a gardener for so many years, it doesn't mean you will succeed right away with orchids, because they have a little bit different requirements than all the other plants. But when it comes to watering, I think any other plants have the same problem. If you overwater them, they will rot. So it's very similar, but you know, I just gotta think about it. Okay, so on this professor-like note, I want to say you guys have a great day. I hope you enjoyed my little speech this morning. This dendrobium is going bananas, and it's beautiful, and it's absolutely neglected. So this is, by the way, the best advice I can give you. If your orchid does not perform, talk to it and say whatever, and you will see that it will start performing in no time. So, and for now, I want to tell you, have a great day. I have some new items in my store, www.justonemoreorchid.com. My violation, let's get them there. Oh, somebody needs to remodel. Is still blooming, and she is absolutely, look at her. I'll give you a shot in the sun. Oh boy, and she smells. I think it's her. I cannot reach there. My Ramsey is still on and not going anywhere, and that's an absolute plus when it comes to oncidiums. He is as tall as a giraffe, but it's been probably more than a month for him, and you decided to fall down. Let's fix that. And this one needs a support. It's a gorgeous chocolate cocoa something. I'll show you the tag in a minute. Come on. Yeah, there you are. It needs a stake. Space Race Cocoa from Palmer. If you like it, you see the information of the nursery and you can buy it there. And this oncidium is still going. Also kind of fading already. That's the name of it. Okay, guys, I think, look how tall is Ramsey. But look how gorgeous. This yellow color, I honestly never seen such a yellow color on any other oncidiums in my whole entire life, and that's why I bought him. It's very yolky like, you know. I'm silly me, I gave him a steak, the longest one I have, but it's not enough, so maybe I need to just give him. Look at this guy. Wee. Okay, Ramsey. I love calling him Ramsey because I love Chef Ramsey. He is welcome to my house at any time. So this is my little wannabe. Are you? Oh, you're blooming. It's kind of going down. This is, I believe, Lycoste. No, Sologeny. Okay, we had her bloom before, and this is her second. And as you can see, this is gonna bloom again. Sequential bloomer. Okay, I'm trying to say goodbye to you. But you know, it's not always happening right away. So you have a great day. Please subscribe. Write to me. My plan is to talk next time about fungicide, and we'll talk about fertilizing, okay? So have a great day.